Hello again, Tim Blake, Sales Manager for Atlas Spas and Swim Spas. Okay, you just got a new hot tub or a new swim spa, what do, right? So in this video, we're going to go through the startup and the weekly maintenance of the chemicals that you've received for your unit. Again, your master spa uses a ton less chemicals than other brands, and so what we're going to do is kind of just go over what to do when you're starting it up and what to do on your weekly maintenance, okay? So in your startup kit, you've got some form of everything that I have on this table right here. The brand might be a little bit different of chlorine. It might say one thing, it might say spa, like this one right here says your spa granules. It might say Easy Spa Boost, but in some form it'll have some type of chlorine that is in your kit, okay? You're also going to receive a startup sheet that lists everything that we talk about. This will be given to you at delivery. If you did not receive that, just reach out to our Plano store or to your salesperson and they can provide this for you also. But this shows you everything that I'm going to talk about in this video. It's going to be written down for you that you can use as a reference, okay? So the first thing that it talks about is Easy Spa Start, okay? Easy Spa Start, when you add this to the water, it takes out the metals and the organics that's in the water that you cannot see. Okay, this is the only product that if you read the back directions and it talks about how much to add into your spa, this is the only one that will have inaccurate information. On your bottle it says to add 1 ounce per 100 gallons. Okay, that's for a standard hot tub. Master Spas, the filtration is a lot finer, so you really only need to use 1 ounce per 250 gallons. Okay, when you add that, you're just going to add it directly to the water and let it circulate in there. Okay, that's your Easy Spa Start. That's step one. Step two, what you're going to do is you're going to test the water. You'll have some form of test strips that's in there and it has a chart, okay? We're going to go through in different videos that's going to show you exactly the proper way to test your water, okay? But you're going to test the water and what you're doing is you're lining it up to the chart that's on the back of the bottle, all right? The first thing that you're going to look at is going to be your calcium level, your hardness, okay? That is the first thing that you address before you look at anything else. The reason for it is because if your spa water is too soft, what happens is your pH and your alkalinity kind of jump around on you. You might have that perfect one day, but if your water's too soft, it'll be off maybe the day or two later, okay? It also doesn't allow your chlorine to be as effective, okay? So the first thing that we want to do is we want to adjust your calcium hardness level, okay? So on the back of the bottle, it talks about how to raise your calcium hardness, the amount of ppms or parts per million, okay? One thing to note, this is the only product that does not dilute very well in warm water. So what you want to do is you want to get a separate little container or a little bucket. You want to add cold water to it and dump in the appropriate amount of the calcium in there, stir it all up so it dilutes it, and then you dump the whole solution into the hot tub or swim spa. That way it's already diluted when it goes in there. If you don't do that and you just add the chemical, the chlorine, or excuse me, the calcium to the water, all that drops to the bottom and it takes a lot of, quite a while for it to dilute, okay? So dilute this into cold water first. You might have to do this 2 or 3 times in order to get to the desired level, okay? The magic number in my mind is about 300 to 350 parts per million that you really want to get for your calcium level, okay? After you get your calcium level where it needs to be, now you can look at your pH and your alkalinity. pH and alkalinity typically run in the same direction, and how it's adjusted is either up or down. So it's very self-explanatory. If it's too high, you use the down. If it's too low, you use the up, okay? So first, again, you get your calcium level where it needs to be, then you adjust your pH and alkalinity levels. After that, you're adding your chlorine in there. Again, and the chlorine is to sanitize the water, okay? So on your chart, that'll show you specifically for what model that you purchased, how much of that you use, okay? This is on a weekly basis, all right? Now, everything that I'm going over with you is just kind of a guideline or a little bit of a foundation. Everybody's water chemistry is a little bit different, so you might need to add a little more of one product or add a little less of a product, okay? You'll kind of get into that in your feel of how you use it. Me personally, instead of a once a week, what I typically do when I'm using my own is every time I get out of the unit, I'll sprinkle in a little bit of the chlorine and a little bit of the Total Care after each use. That way, and I'll run the pumps and I'll let it circulate while I'm adding the chemicals in there. Another thing to note, whenever you're adding the chemicals into the water, you want to leave your cover vented. Leave it completely open or at least halfway open for at least 15 to 30 minutes, depending on how much chemical that you add to the water, okay? Then the last thing that you add is what is called Total Care. Total Care is a blend of chemicals, all right? It has 7 products in one bottle. It has your pH balancers, your oxidizers, your clarifiers, your water conditioners, everything in one bottle. When you add that to the water, it locks in your water chemistry for 5 to 7 days. That's why they call it a once-a-week solution, okay? The reason we add this last is because if your water is at an inaccurate reading and you add this in there, then it locks it in at an inaccurate reading, okay? So you want to get everything else adjusted first and then add this, okay? It doesn't have to be perfect. It's not rocket science, okay? You want to get the levels as close as possible on your strip, but again, it doesn't have to be perfect, okay? And you typically don't want to wait more than 4 or 5 days to add the Total Care in there. So if at that point you get it pretty close, go ahead and add your Total Care in there, okay? Again, it says a once-a-week solution. That's based on bather load, how many people are using it, you know, different detergents and suits, body oils, lotions, everything like that will affect it. You might want to step this up if you're using it quite a bit. You might want to step this up to twice a week. You know, again, you'll kind of get into your own little motion and how you use your unit, okay? The best thing is, guys, it's very simple. If you ever end up having a problem with your water chemistry, all you have to do is give us a phone call, reach out to us, send us a picture of your water or your test strip, and we'd be glad to help you out, okay? Thanks again for your purchase, and enjoy your new hot tub or swim spa.